brush. Let's talk about War of the Worlds. It's an alien invasion story in which they all get syphilis. But I want you to know that, like, you could lead a very productive and fruitful life with syphilis. Okay, but unfortunately for these alien beings, their immune system wasn't up to our mighty bugs, as it were. Okay, now they have several advantages to us, as they had fleshy beaks like octopus. Wait a minute, they were kind of like octopi. Why is everyone saying octopuses now? Because it's octopi. I always thought it was octopi, and that's just like in two separate words once, and now it's just one word. But I suppose that's evolution of the language. Okay, so anyway, we would have totally got destroyed by this alien because they were starting to grind people up. They were starting to grind people up and spray them on the fields, as it were, to grow their Martian goodness or whatever they eat, the Martian wheat, the Martian barley. Okay, so why am I out of breath? I don't understand why I'm out of breath. I didn't walk up any stairs. I made damn sure I didn't. And now look at this. Okay, whew. I've got to really power through to talk about Tom Cruise because he's a guy. Okay, so he likes doing his own stunts. So he really fought the aliens, and he got alien goo on his hands, and he had to wash his hands quite a lot. And since then, he can't stop washing his hands. He's had a real problem with washing his hands and not being able to stop washing his hands. Is it a problem, or is it now his new way of life? It doesn't matter, okay? Sometimes things happen to people, and people change, and their brains change, and that's what happens, okay? So when you're fighting aliens, make sure you're wearing gloves, okay? And not like leather gloves because their juices will soak through the leather, okay? So you got to be wearing like latex gloves, okay? Now, if you have a latex allergy, that's going to be a problem. So maybe you could wrap your hand in some kind of bandages and then use like a boxing glove, I guess. But you would have to really hammer at that thing because boxing gloves. Well, I suppose you could knock someone out with a boxing. Like I couldn't knock someone out with a boxing glove. I don't have that power in my hips, right? But like I'm a lover, not a fighter, and usually that's over pretty fast too. So anyway, the point is, Tom Cruise punched an alien, got alien goo on his hands, and then now he has to wash his hands all the time. Okay, so when you're fighting aliens, just remember, okay, there's got to be a better way to do it, okay? Because now we're it's bringing the vibrations down, man. Okay, so I guess we gotta love the aliens. Like, so we all gotta bang them. And again, latex is important in this aspect too because you don't know what's going to happen with your member when it's inside an alien being. That's you gotta roll the dice, but sometimes you gotta take one for the team, as it were. Okay, so sometimes you gotta be the first one over Mount Everest and down the other side. Okay, and so if that's got to be me, then that's got to be me, okay? Because this is my adopted home. I love it, okay? And I'll do anything to protect it, okay? And that means if that means having the greatest orgasm of my life because it's an alien being who knows my physiology better than I know myself, then like that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Okay, so, but in this particular story, it was in Victorian times, so they didn't talk a lot about coming. Or if they did, it was like with weird cards that they would pass to each other and kind of snicker. Actually, I don't know a lot about Victorian era anything or Edwardian. I don't know the difference, okay? So the point is, it was more of a scary story, okay? There wasn't a lot of love in it, okay? Because basically the aliens shot themselves here and then kicked everyone's ass, and the only reason anyone survived is again because of the syphilis that they caught and all died, okay? And then like the birds started eating their bodies and stuff. And I don't really remember that part, okay? But anyway, the point is, we didn't have anything to do with the victory in this particular story. So it's going to be a fairly melancholy musical, I believe, because now that I'm an off-Broadway producer, I've decided everything's just got to be a musical, okay? So that means 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea musical, War of the Worlds the musical, To the Earth and the Moon, and the one where they shot the capsule up to the moon, okay, where they gets in the moon's eye. That one. The Time Machine, the musical, and see we could bring Samantha Mumba out of retirement to sing in that one. Wouldn't that be nice? Uh, and then I'm sure HG will. Oh yeah, Journey to the Mysterious Island and Journey to the Center of the Earth. There's other ones too. But like once those become big hits, everyone's going to want the back catalog of Jules Verne musicals. So I got to get my keyboard and get writing. And we'll find out about my oeuvre of work after that time. Okay, so Tom Cruise likes to do his own stunts. Now he's got a trauma because he fought real aliens. And, well, he's used to aliens anyway because he's got to do his thetans. So, whatever. The point is, okay, there's hope for the future. And the hope to the future doesn't come from violence, but it comes from love. Okay, love and respect. And luck. And syphilis. Syphilis gave us hope for the future. I'd be scared. Okay? I'm talking a big game now because I'm alone in a room. But if there was aliens who were trying to attack us, I'd be pretty scared. I'd be in my house not wanting to leave my house. And I'd be afraid to look at them too because of that because of Bird Box. Okay? And I'd be afraid to make a sound too because of the ones with the big ears with John Krasinski. Okay? So I talk a big game, but I'm really scared of things. Maybe that's why I worked for an evil henchman. Because I liked following a strong man, and I didn't have to be brave myself. I just followed orders. I don't think I could ever go back to that, though. Maybe I am different. It probably won't last very long. My only hope really is that my evil overlord gets syphilis, as it were. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Something incapacitating. I guess you just take a deep breath when you go and you give everyone a hug. Violence isn't the answer because you hurt yourself when you hurt others. It's like the rubber and the glue. I'm the rubber and you're the glue. Whatever I say bounces off of you, sticks back to me. The ingenious thing, though, to grind the people up and spray them on the field. Suppose that's like when they sprayed chicken shit on the road so that we would have traction to go up to the booth to put on the TV shows. You'd have to drive up to the booth to put on the TV shows, and you'd have the tape in your hand, and you'd have to undo the key, go into the booth, put the tape in the machine, and press some buttons, and then it went out into the ether so they could watch shows like me having a bath. Anyway, the problem with using chicken shit for traction is when your car gets stuck and you go back to push it, you're going to get chicken shit all over you when the tires spin out. But that's Hollywood. So work continues apace on the War of the Worlds musical, along with the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Maybe they could have a crossover. Sorry, Tom Cruise. Maybe you can get that TLDR red flashing in your eyes. That might help you with the hand washing. I'm sorry you had to fight those aliens for us. Or look at a pencil. Eraser tip.